Do you love me like I love you?
I am Clem.
I am Bron.
Hi, my name is Ndimni.
My name is Tatso.
Hello, my name is Simu Banza.
Hi, my name is Buhle Lupindo.
And I'm Shanae.
My name is Shore Judivati.
Well, I mean, it's obviously stuff we're still dealing with, but I don't know if we want to go there.
Just touch on it, really.
Yeah,
Is that-
family.
Yeah. Okay, so the worst thing or the worst adversity that we've
The trickiest thing that we
experienced
have to try to navigate.
as soon as we got, engaged, obviously questions about preparations, for the wedding, conversations basically started to happen. And then conversations like, because I'm Zulu and at home we're Zulu and we practice, my culture, things like rituals came up. And obviously, these are conversations we've both had. But yeah, so basically both families haven't actually met each other like officially. So that's been, I think, the first biggest thing is that our families actually have never met each other. They know of each other, but they've never really officially met. So when it was time for us to, I guess, kind of speak about, the wedding, and that's when we kind of faced some clashes in belief systems that we didn't even realize would be like, an issue, I guess. From both families, really, because
It's so loaded.
Yeah.
So loaded.
I mean,
I'm from Cape Town. My whole family is there. Well, yeah, we're working through it. I think that's the biggest thing.
yeah, basically the family culture, the different belief systems, and
Dealing with the past, I guess.
Mm.
Like the past of both our families and trying to find a way to get them to move forward.
but we know it's gonna take a lot of trying to get people who are set in their ways together, basically, and on the same page, or just to compromise on something. I think that's what it is, just finding a compromise that everybody's like happy with.
Which might be tricky. That might be the trickiest thing. But we're gonna be there for each other
Mm.
and then take it from there.
For the first 3.5 years of my relationship with Ndumi, I was together with her with our ex. I don't even know how to refer. Yeah, so when we break up in the relationship last year, that was something I didn't see coming. So it shook the relationship and my ideas of the potential future going forward. It was sore, and I'm sure Ndumi will speak for herself. As someone who knew our ex a bit longer, she was quite affected by that as well. So all breakups are hard.
So if we're both in a relationship and we break up with people we're seeing on the side, it's a little easier to navigate because, for example, Tatsu will be heartbroken out and I'll be sad because she's sad, but I can hold her and carry her during that time. But to try and navigate a mutual breakup where we're both sad in different ways about the same person was just very difficult because you sort of want to cry and deal with your everything, but you also want to make space for your partner to do the same, and it changes how you viewed everything. It changed, like, what was our long-term plan? Where are we going with this? What are we going to do? You have to like peel away these layers of it's okay to grieve in this way, and it's okay that everything is flipped on its head now, and we had to just really be there to hold space for each other while also being these individuals who are impacted by the same thing, just very differently.
One, she wants one only. We have to choose one.
I mean, without sounding like the most difficult thing about our relationship, without sounding like repetitive, is literally our mental health. Like, I honestly, because our mental health affects everything around us and how we operate. So, like, it's just affects things sometimes, like, unfortunately, negatively, and how we argue or how we disagree or what we want to do or what the other person can't do that day. And we have deadlines for brand work. I think that's the only thing that would be like the biggest thing in our relationship right now. But if we take care of that one small thing, and I say small because I feel like people make it this big thing where I'm like, it's okay to like admit and say that you have mental health. It's just a small process that if you look after it properly, it can be taken care of. And once we take care of that one small thing, sometimes things just go like so smoothly. Even our disagreements, even our little arguments just go smoothly when we're both okay and we both realize where we are mentally and why the other person is acting like that.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than having a big argument over a little thing and only realizing after, like that will make me more upset than the actual argument we had. Now I'm still upset, but I'm upset at the fact that I was upset. So I think that's a big part of it, is communicating with each other how we feel about certain things.
Have we had like a really, I mean, you know, couples fights and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like, have we had a really good fight? I think we're very lucky, and we know how really privileged and fortunate we are that we haven't faced too much adversity as a couple. You know, there's always the odd old religious auntie who's sort of like, how's your friend? And now you've been together 5 years and you're really in love, and you just
or the aunt who asks you in front of your partner, so when are you getting a boyfriend? You're like, this person's been here how many years now? It was one of my Italian aunties, and she asks it every year, you know, and every year I'm just like, hello. She's sitting right here, and she's a she, not a he. But you know, that's just old school mentalities and stuff, and it's still love. They're not coming at you with any hatred.
I don't know. Look at
Absolutely. We love talking about the bedroom.
I feel like it's just very important for us to make space for each other to have these desires and so many different kinds, and just being safe with that and not judging each other, and just lots of talking about it as well.
Lots of talking about it. With the long distance relationship, we don't really have much of a choice but to talk about it because we can't do anything else. I love the talks though. I still love the talks. You know what? To be quite honest, we're not very big on the cyber. I mean, we'll dirty text here and there and stuff, but I don't. That hasn't been the primary way of connecting intimately. Let me put it that way. I think. I mean, maybe it's to mention that my partner and I enjoy just talking about sex in general. So even if it's not to do with, like, you know, so we just love having a space where we can just talk about desire and intimacy and passion and pleasure, etc.
So when it comes to the importance of sex, I think for me, it's around the importance of intimacy. So what will happen with me is, if I'm feeling like let's say she has a bad week and she's not feeling very intimate, then all of a sudden I'll like want to be this very big like sexual being, like every evening or whatever. And I will only realize that like later, that it's just because like I'm not getting hugs or cuddles, and so I'm overcompensating at a certain point. So for me, it's in general, it's just about intimacy. So if there's a consistent level of intimacy that doesn't necessarily have to include sex, then I'll find myself not being like this big sexual being. But when I feel like things are slightly different, then I will focus on sex quite a lot as a form of intimacy, because that is like my love language. Like I'm huge on intimacy. So that's something I've sort of had to learn also, is just because you're not getting the one doesn't mean you have to go overboard on the other. But I'm a person who enjoys sex. Like I've always been that person who just, I guess, enjoys intimacy on all levels. Yeah.
For me, it's the last thing in my brain, and like he said, it's his love language, or how he like your intimacy.
Yeah.
And we had to learn each other's love languages, and that's one of them. And my love languages is like actions, like doing things,
acts of service.
Acts of service, yes, thank you. So like doing things for me, I think for me that's my sex, but I have to be very careful of like also understanding his. And this is me not saying I don't enjoy like having sex with him or just in general. I do. It's just never been like the thing for me, like that, like oh my god, like this,
all
like
I can think about.
But when we do, or when we decided to do, like it's my favorite thing because like we get to enjoy it. I'm just thinking my mom watching and my brain's like functioning. But like at the end of the day, like I do enjoy our intimate moments. It's also one of my favorite moments. It's quality time also. So yeah, I think that's where we stand. And also I try not to be selfish with me not wanting, knowing that you want, and also you also, I've noticed that you try to not impose on me not wanting because you want.
Sex is really important in our relationship. If you know, some time has passed, where there has been none of it,
we do question.
You know, are we okay? Is everything fine? Are you still here? Are we here?
Yeah,
we have to check in.
We have to, So. No, it is very important. It's, I mean, and anyone will tell you in any relationship, sex is important. When you stop having sex, you're just two best friends who hang out. You know what I mean? Because then, if the sexual relationship is gone, then you're no longer in a sexual relationship. You're no longer in a relationship. It's now a friendship more than anything else. So we always check in with each other, and we always make. And you know, sometimes the dry moments are because of, oh, I'm really tired. I've been working a lot. It's nothing more than just daily mundane-ish that really bogs a human down. You know. So yeah, we keep it sexy.
Tatsu, have we introduced each other to any kinks in particular?
When we first met, we connected very well in terms of how we see pleasure and play, and we're very open, you know. So we both do identify as kinky people. We really enjoy the BDSM. Am I allowed to say that? We really enjoy kink and play and the like. I was pleasantly surprised at how well she flourishes when I'm in the same space as cishet men, and maybe they're also like playing or engaging, you know. And I don't think I necessarily introduced that to her. I'm more just kind of grateful that my partner can share with me these experiences.
Yeah, we're both kinky, but the really nice thing is that before I met Tatsu, it was primarily I would just be with a partner or like with one other person or like a few other people. It would never be like, here is a great scene to explore, here are all these new people, and have all these different bodies and different types of people in one space, you know, to explore different forms of like pleasure. And Tatsu really opened me up to, yeah, you like kink, so let's go to a party. And we actually like went. And like there were all these different forms of like people there that I wouldn't have normally engaged with and brought into my space. So that was a really nice and interesting experience. And since then, we've just really been going with what is really interesting to do and what do we want to do, and let's just do it, which has been really great.
I think Shanae would absolutely die if we did any sort of swinging of any sorts. That, or we might have like several murder cases. Because she'd be like, who are you touching? Why are you touching my girl? Like, no. You know, so we would not go into that side of the world of like, you know, swinging or that kind of stuff. We like to keep it to ourselves. I mean, hey, we've never thought about talking, you know, we've never spoken about bringing a third person in, but I still don't think she would allow it. I mean, I say this now, but I'm probably like, no, I don't want to do that either. I think the most that we've done is I mean, we brought toys into the bedroom, and that's as far as it goes. You know, we're not into bondage or S&M or other things. I don't know. Are you?
No.
Okay.
Pretty vanilla as far as that goes.
Do you love me like I love you?
5FM. Watch 5FM TV on YouTube. 5FM.